driving around in my neighborhood this time. I live on the street, which is one of the main streets, I would say. Starting the drive already in my neighborhood. So here is like the street where most of the drug dealing happens, especially on the right where you can't really see, but there's a shop with a ton of things you can buy, like not a grocery store, but we call this dépanneur in French, but I don't remember the name in English. Convenience store. At this place, there's a ton of there's always at least 20 people hanging there and bothering people sometimes, but they mostly are chill. It's just a bit scary for older people. Scares them a bit, but yeah. Next one I'm gonna turn in is a street called Pierre. It's another one of those streets where there's been a lot of issues before, but generally I think it's a neighborhood that's calming down a bit. Like I said in a previous video, like this on the right, there's a convenience store, and there's always a lot of trash and people, gangs and stuff. Closed up stores, weird people, whatever. I was born Altern, where I was not born, but I grew up there. Next street on the right. I was always hanging in those streets, being young, going, riding my bike and stuff, and just fooling around and such. So I grew up on the street. Those are probably the worst apartments you can get, like in Montréal-North, just maybe Montreal in general. But this is the neighborhood. It's called Montréal-North, basically. Montréal-North. Like here, there's always someone knowing gangs and stuff. So you have to be careful of what you do. And then you turn on this street on the left. I'll show you guys. You turn here, and it's nice duplexes. Big contrast. Those back in the days when I was young, those were like close to $1,000 per month. And now they must be close to 1,400. And those apartments you saw that were kind of crappy, maybe 900 a month, which is, compared to big cities, it's cheap, but for here it's expensive because we have additional taxes on everything here, and it's just but there's a lot of parks. There's a park here where you can go swim and stuff, games for kids or whatever, so that's good. there's also a park close to where I live. I'll show you guys. I'll try to come across it. This park is pretty busy. What I'm talking about is like it's one of the bigger parks, I'd say, in Montreal-North. Here on the left that you just saw was condos, so that's another like big contrast. You don't really, that's one of the big issues with Montreal in general. It costs a lot to live here, and also compared to what it was not long ago. And also they're not making any like apartments for cheap. There's nothing. Everything they build is like to sell, to be expensive or luxurious and stuff. So that's another thing that contributes to a growing population of homeless people. On the right, there's stores, restaurants. Actually, a couple of them are good. So it's not a. You can eat well here. It's no problem. Right? There's a couple of places I'm going to, and I was going there that have been open for a long time. So here there's a school on the right. You might see it a bit. That's the school I went to when I was young. There's also like in kindergarten place. What else? Some more restaurants on the right. On the left there used to be like a small hospital, but they closed it up and they opened a bigger one. So the one on the left, the new building, that's a new hospital actually. Here I think it's stupid because they put plants. When you want to turn on the left, it's like you can't see shit. That's the dumbest thing ever, I think. But, well, here that's La Cordère, the street. It's really popular. It's like a good way to get out and in of the city, of the neighborhood. I mean, it's one of the busier streets of Montreal-North for sure. I'll turn here and show you guys the park I was talking about. It's a big park. Like here, it's divided. Like when you come across here, there's houses and stuff. But now it's so expensive. Like get a house here is like, I don't think you can get anything below 400,000. Some of them are old. These are, they call it, I think, bungalows. So it's a bit like a house, but it's smaller. It's a good neighborhood to live in. If you live in these parts here, it's like really calm, low, nothing like really major happening. Even though everyone's saying Montreal-North is dangerous and stuff, it can be, but it's not in this part of it. Not in this part of it that's really problematic, I'd say. Just people here when they drive, they don't fucking give a shit. That's a thing. To be careful. They don't fucking give a shit. That's the big part I was talking about on the right. People hanging out there and stuff. There's a skate park also. I think eventually I'd like to get a GoPro and a mount for maybe to put it on my chest or somewhere, something like that. I don't know. A lot of Asians here. This neighborhood is majorly Asians. You see, like, just looking at the people on the sidewalk and stuff, you see you don't really see any white people per se. What the fuck? I think they saw like a bee or something. It's funny. Okay, so we'll go up here, where most of the time I park, because this is the street I live in here. But I live a bit down below. I park here most of the time because it's a bit more, it may sound stupid to say, but people are a bit less BS here. So they tend to be a bit more careful with, like, when they park their cars and stuff, they don't like you chew non-stop and pretend like nothing happened. That's one of the big issues here. Like, people don't give a shit. They just like break your things and whatever. They just fucking don't care. A lot of times I think that's one of the biggest issue here is like other than that, people are just like they're nice when you talk with them and stuff. Here another school on the right. A lot of schools. Just within like a 10-minute walk around where I live. 10-minute walk around where I live is like there's at least 6 schools, I'd say. So yeah. And when there's a school, there's always like a park. But like here, there's ice skating during the winter. They just put a nice ice skating ring. People can skate around and stuff. It's free. And yeah. This is also a fairly big park. I'll go around and show you guys a bit more. But if you're looking to live in Montreal, this is a place where it's affordable, kind of, here. Where I live here is like, even here it's a calm place, not really much going on. Those are all buildings with each, they have 2 doors, one for base level and one at the top. They all have that. They all, it's all 4 apartments in the same building, but they're big apartments. Like here, as you see, there's like a park and stuff. I could have gone down a bit to show you guys here. They changed the, like here it's not bad. It's, you see, it's an old school, of course, but this is an English school actually. So even though you might come with a preconceived idea of Montreal and a city like here in French, being mostly French, it's not only that, it's also a bit of it's also a bit of English also. Like there's a big population here, so, and French is not really a big thing in North America, so a lot of people who are immigrating here or whatever, they speak English. So most people when they come in here, they in Canada, I think they have to learn French or know some French. They get free courses, I think, for a limited time, and then it's up to them if they still want to learn more. But if they don't want to, then they just continue and live their life. It's okay. They don't. The government actually right now is not really forcing people to learn, or not learn, but I mean know French completely, you know. So this is like the part that is, I'd say, down of Montreal-North. There's the upper part. I'll show you guys. I lived here all my life, so never left. I went on vacation and stuff, see my father in his country and stuff, but I never lived somewhere else per se. Like here, gas station and the dollar store on the right. On the left, there's a mall, grocery store and stuff. It's green. Beep. That's right, cutting. Yeah, can be a bit crazy here when you drive. Like you see, look at the bus stop. Mostly immigrants. Only one old white woman. Just to show you how it is here. It's really mixed. And when you see someone white, there's a good chance it's mixed Italian or just Italian. So yeah. I don't mind. It's good for culture. And I think it's necessary nowadays with the lack of staff everywhere. We have that issue here. I don't know for you guys, but here it's a big issue. What the fuck is he doing? Why it's taking so long? of times here. Like if you do like an infraction with your car or driving your bicycle or whatever, the police won't give a shit because they're so busy with like crimes, drugs and stuff. So they just end up prioritizing what's more important for them, I guess. So a lot of time I feel like they don't care. But here it's also like some houses. Oh, that's an old Bentley. Rolls Royce. It was an old Rolls Royce. And sometimes you can find things like that here. But on the right, you couldn't really see it, but there was another school. Another school here also on the right. Two of them. It's filled with schools here, so. Here on the right, there's also a restaurant. Italian restaurant, really good actually. A double one, yeah. It's called. It's been open since 1958, I think it says on the always people going there and stuff. There's a small terrace where you can sit down outside and have yourself a drink with pasta and whatever. Here the street was all renovated at some point, like used to look very old, but now it's they modernized it a bit with like the lights and stuff. But it's a big issue here. I think the rent for spots to put businesses is too high. So what's happening is there's always like a big rotation of new stores opening and closing and so forth, and a lot of times it just ends up being empty. Those buildings, which is a big problem for the street. This is the Charleroi, it's called. So there's a lot of work to do for the street. It always struggled, but I feel like now it's worse. I mean struggle by like it having trouble to keep businesses open, because a lot of people, like when they come here and they want to like have a drink or go to a restaurant or whatever, they don't go here, they go downtown most of the time, or somewhere else. Like they don't come here to drink and stuff. If you come here to drink, it's because there's good chances you fight with someone. It's not the place. Another school on the left. Schools for days. Here on the right is like a small part of Montréal-North, where like a small rich neighborhood type things. It's weird, but there's an ice skate arena just close to here. What's good is that there's a good cultural variety, I guess you could say, and that's good because I like like to learn from others. Different food, also women, much nicer. It's another park with a swimming pool, which is public, so anyone can go there. It's free. It's free. I don't know what this fucking this guy is about. Here it's mostly, again, houses, duplex, quadruplex. When I was young, I wasn't really going here. I guess it's a bit further also. Further means well, when I was young I didn't have a car, so it goes with it. Parking here is all free. It's not like downtown where there's passes to park in different spots, because downtown there's not many spaces to park, so people pay per month and they get like a pass. There's always like that's what I like also about Montreal, is that you can just roam around. You can see nice things, like if you're a car lover like me. Like, I just saw like in an old Volkswagen van converted for like van life or something. I think that's cool. Here there's a market, Arabic food of some sort. I don't know what it was, but here it's one of the big streets. Put these everywhere, man. These bumps. They do that because they notice people are going too fast in those streets, so they put these. Honestly, I don't think I've ever went here. This place is more like an industrial area. Here in all the adjacent street, like on the left, like 10 or 15 streets on the left, there's all like shops. You can get your car fixed for cheap in those places. But you have to be careful, because a lot of them are just not the best mechanics and stuff, and not the most reputable businesses also. So here, that's a condo on the right. It's a new building actually. They built not long ago. Took forever for them to finish it. Here I'd say this is the limit of Montreal-North. If you go left, it's the end of it. There's a underpass, and on top. Alright, I'm back. The camera cut it before because it was too warm, but I absolutely wanted you guys to see this part of Montreal-North. that's, I'd say, the main street of Montreal-North. Biggest, most, the busiest for sure. McDonald's and everything you could think is here, basically. What else? Gas station. To be able to see more when there's not a truck in front of me. Pizza Hut on the left. Bus station. St. Hubert on the right, which is like a chicken place. Not a lot of people like. On the right, on the left, also another chicken place. On the right is a small mall. It's not the biggest in Montreal for sure. Going down. This street was all redone. Took a long time, but it's finally done. People can go through here easily. Here, bus station. On the left, there used to be a school, but now it's only a school to learn certain types of work, I think. Houses, apartments here, everything, basically. Go down here. There used to be a skate park down on the left because there's a big park, but they destroyed it somehow. Here on the right, it's a Lavoto car wash, basically. Here, when you cross, it's not Montreal-North, it's Laval. It's another city. A lot of times in my videos I go in Laval to drive around because it's nicer, the roads are a bit nicer also, and there's less traffic. Nicer roads without like really any traffic, so you can just have fun, drive around. Here it's also another big street. I'd say this is the second most or the first most busiest street, I could say. This is Arboisa. This street goes through Montreal, all of it. You can just take this street and go across the island. Which is pretty big, considering like if I were to do this crossing, it would take at least an hour, maybe more. So it's just to tell you, this island of Montreal is long, but it's not really wide. There's a lot of, also if you're someone looking to move here, there's also a lot of Arabic food in general, just from everywhere in Africa and whatever. So there's even like on the left, there's a car wash with food also. I think it's Just that with kebab and stuff. And it's good. I've been there before. A lot of those apartments are really old, not renovated, and a lot of times also, not a lot of times, but often you need to be careful because there's good chances they are infected with like different types of cockroaches, whatever. So you need to be careful with that also. This is another park. I'd say the second biggest. There's a pool, also a public pool. Big soccer field. Also, the big park I showed you guys before, it had like a football field. There's games there. I think Montréal-North is around 90,000 inhabitants. I think that's around that for population. Close to 100,000, I think. It's quite big. Showed you some of it, but I'll try to like show you a map of Montréal-North. But yeah, it's a busy neighborhood for sure. There's this park, it's right here. Like here, it's quite big. I don't want to film people, you know. There's a pool. It's quite big, the pool over there. What else? A place for kids to play, things like that, you know. Mixies, bikes you can just rent for cheap. You can go anywhere with those bikes. Most cities have those now, like Toronto, New York, whatever. I think they all have it. It's not really specific or special, but it's good to also have the option. What's funny is that the helmet is supposed to be you're supposed to have an helmet, but when you take a big sea or whatever, there's no like nothing to really check that or whatever. Here there's a Église church, it's in. quite big, and the style of it is weird. I don't know. I'll go in the parking. You'll see. That's what it looks like. It's a weird design, made with stones. I probably look like someone who was lost, but yeah. Was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? There's a school in front. There's a school. Another school. It's filled with schools here. Mail delivery guy. Houses on left and right. Most of these are pretty old. Some of them I think even older than the apartments you saw at first. But Montréal-North was majorly all fields and grass and trees. It was that for until not so long ago, because if I remember correctly, when I was young, a woman was telling me that she moved in the first like apartment buildings in Montreal-North, where it was like all not even paved with asphalt yet, I think. And that was in the 1950s, 40s, I think. So and from what I understand is that it's also the case for most neighborhood in Montreal, or Montreal, I mean, is that like Montreal-North was a city itself, and it got joined with Montreal, and then it became like a neighborhood of Montreal. Because when I fill up stuff for mail or whatever, or when I put an address for delivery or whatever, I don't need to put Montreal-North. I can just put Montreal, and it's gonna get delivered in the right place. It's not. It's a neighborhood. Here there's another school. I went there for my high school. Yeah, I think in English it's high school here. And it wasn't really. It was back then. It was like one of the, I'd say, dangerous schools. A lot of and there's a lot of students in this that can go in. Like I think we had around 3,000 people or so in that school. So, yeah. Another school on the right. I went there for my first years of schooling, basically. And that school was garbage because it's mostly what I could say. That school is mostly classrooms without any walls, so it was shit. Because you're trying to learn and you hear the classroom just beside you, so it's not really, it's garbage, man. I don't know why they did it like this. I think it might have been the old way. I don't know, but it was stupid. And another church of some sort ahead, always full. Those are mostly, this one on Sundays it's filled up with Asians. A lot of Asians go there. And here on the left, that's another school that's getting built right here. Another high school, I think. And on the left, I think there's another building being built right now. But I think it's a thing for old people. Why is he trying to go left? This guy's stupid. Oh, okay, no, never mind. I just forgot to turn off his blinker. Yeah, on the left, another school. On the right, also. This is and on the right, it's another school, but this is a college. There's a soccer field, arena, whatever. It's like, it's big. Been there for a long time. People go to this college, I think, when they study music, art, and things associated with that, I think. And it's well situated, because right here is the highway, so it's close to it. Because a lot of kids in college, they have cars, not most than people in high school, of course. So being close to the highway is good. And there's buses like you saw going through all the time. And this here is the limit to Montréal-North. Basically ends here. Just filled with power lines around, walls to reduce noise, because there's houses right beside the highway. All of this here is fairly new, I'd say 10 years old-ish, or maybe a bit more than 10 years old, like 15. Basically is a link to Laval. You saw before when I was at the big street with that was new and stuff, like all renovated. When you saw the McDonald's and stuff, this is called P9 Street, and that street was going through Laval, just like we are doing right now. But here it's a pay toll. But it's a good thing. I prefer to go through here because it takes a bit less time. Less people are going through here. And the pay tolls. Basically, you go across and it scans your plate, your license plate, and it sends you a bill. Basically, you don't have to do anything. It's 3 lanes. It's never blocked. There's never traffic here. That's why I prefer to go here. Because when I go like up north of Montreal, like in vacation or chalet, or to go at a beach, whatever I have to do up north, I go through this highway. I got the pass, so having the pass makes it so I pay $3-ish each time I go through. That's in Canadian dollar, of course. And if I go through without the pass, it's pretty expensive. It's like I think $11 or $12 with taxes and stuff. So it's kind of expensive. If you go through with a truck, then it's by axle. You pay per axle. So with a truck, it can be expensive, but a lot of times it's gonna be worth it for them because it saves them a lot of time. But, it depends on what they carry and where they have to go. Obviously, if I was going the other way, now I went northbound. If I was going southbound, then I would go to the tunnel that I showed you guys in the previous video. In a tunnel, yeah, called Tunnel Louis-Paulette-Lafontaine. That tunnel goes through the St. Lawrence River under, basically, the St. Lawrence River, and that is making you cross to the South Shore, and South Shore, then you can go from there to the US, basically. So it's close. We're close to the US here, fairly, I'd say. Takes me without much traffic. It can take like an hour. 50 minutes to go to the United States border, at least. And here we're in Laval, a bit more expensive to live here. Nicer, of course, especially the east part of Laval is a bit more quiet. You're seeing like bigger houses and stuff. Parks and shit. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tour of my neighborhood, which is Montreal-North. Been living here for a long time, since I was a baby. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Feel free to comment and like. Let me know if you like these videos. If you don't, if you do, share them. And if you're interested in moving in Montreal, just Quebec in general, let me know. I'm just curious to see and know about it. Peace, guys.